Next we go to reaction with non-metals. Alkali metals, they react with non-metals such as they react with sulfur, they react with phosphorus, they react with arsenic, antimony, selenium and tellurium. All of the metals, that is alkali metals, they react with phosphorus to give the phosphides of the general formula M3P. Similarly, all of them react with arsenic to give arsenides of the general formula M3AS. And all of them, they react with Sb to give the general formula M3Sb. And all of them react with sulfur to give the general formula M2S, which is a sulfide. And they react with selenium also to give the general formula M2S and form selenides. And last of all, they react with tellurium to give the general formula M2TE, which is called telluride. Next, we have to talk about the solubility of alkali metals in liquid ammonia. This is a very important topic, that is the solutions of alkali metals in liquid ammonia. So, alkali metals are readily soluble in ammonia and eventually they give the metal amide in the reaction along with hydrogen gas. So, solutions of ammonia which contain the metal, they have a very intense color which is usually blue, and they are very good conductors of electricity because they have solvated electrons. This is the reaction that happens when metal is dissolved in ammonia. That is, whenever the metal is dissolved in ammonia, we get a complex of the metal with ammonia and we get a electron which is free, which is called the solvated electron, and this solvated electron is responsible for the color of the solution as well as because of the very high conductivity of the solution. This is also called ammoniated electron. It is not attached to any atom and it is completely free. The solvated electron is actually present in a cavity in the ammonia solvent and it is stabilized by hydrogen bonds. And because of the presence of the unpaired electron, the solution is also paramagnetic. This reaction happens when the solution is left to stand. That is, if alkali metal is dissolved in ammonia and the solution is left to stand for some time, this is the reaction that happens. That is, eventually hydrogen gas is evolved and metal amide is formed. Because of this, on standing, the solution becomes diamagnetic because the electron, we can say, is then eaten up by the ammonia. This is how the electron is stabilized in your ammonia solvent. The electron is present just at the middle. All of these, it's surrounded by your ammonia molecules and it forms hydrogen bonds with the hydrogens of the ammonia molecule and it becomes stable or solvated. Now, alkali metals have the unique ability or the tendency to form complexes. So, alkali metals stand out from the other metals in this respect because the factors which affect the complex forming ability is small size, high charge density and presence of empty orbitals. Alkali metals, they do not have empty orbitals and they do not have high charge density. However, they do form complex compounds. So, let us see how they do that. So, the tendency to form complexes in alkali metals is lithium is higher than potassium, which is higher than sodium, which is higher than potassium, which is higher than rubidium, which is higher than cesium. So, we can say that the tendency to form complexes depends upon the size because lithium has the smallest size, cesium has the largest size. So, now we have to talk about cryptins and crown ethers. So, there was a chemist and he was called C.J. Pedersen, and in 1967 he synthesized cyclic molecules in which there were ether oxygens present, that is oxygen which were attached to alkyl groups on both the sides, and they formed a ring or the crown. Now, the ring and the crown so formed had a hole in the middle, had a hole or a cavity in the middle, and alkali metals were so small that they could fit right into that cavity, and that is why they made complexes with such crown ethers. This is 12 crown 4 lithium. In this case, we can see these are the oxygen atoms, These are called the ether oxygen atoms, and each ether oxygen atom is separated by 2 methylene groups, and the cavity which is made at the middle, in that lithium is present. The next crown ether is 15 crown 5 sodium. This is a crown ether which has sodium as the complexing metal. In this case, sodium is present in the cavity. Next, we have potassium crown ether. In this case, potassium is present in the cavity. Here there are ether oxygens present, and each of the ether oxygens are again separated by 2 methylene groups, and the name is 18 crown 6 potassium. The next is cryptand. Whenever we get a cage-like structure out of ether oxygens and any atom other than ether oxygens also present, we call it as a cryptand. Cryptand can also have alkali metals present in them. The only difference between a crown ether and a cryptand is crown ethers are almost planar, whereas cryptands have a 3-dimensional structure.